WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. The Columbus City Council meets this afternoon to fine-tune its mask ordinance. In a virtual meeting, the mayor and councilman made a few changes regarding who must wear masks and where. The council passed the measure requiring face coverings at Tuesday's meeting in response to an uptick in COVID-19 cases. Some of the changes include customers dining in restaurants and bars are not required to wear a mask, but those waiting in a common area should. And you won't be required to wear a mask in a gym if you're working out, but if you're not, you'll need a mask.
The city already had in place regulations to require businesses that serve customers to ensure that they maintain social distance and that their employees wear masks. This new change requires public going in a retail business where customers are served to wear a mask also.
Employers are not required to enforce regulations on customers, but if they see a violation, they should notify law enforcement. Also, the Mississippi Department of Public Safety is strongly urging folks to wear masks when visiting driver's license offices. Beginning Monday, July 13th, masks will become mandatory at all of those offices. Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall says it's all in an effort to limit transmission of the virus. Customers can take advantage of the online services by visiting the DPS website and the Driver Service Bureau link to limit exposure. Governor Tate Reeves says expect to see more restrictions in the near future. 674 new COVID-19 cases were reported by the Mississippi State Department of Health, along with 30 deaths today. The governor and state health officer, Dr. Thomas Dobbs, strongly encourage Mississippians to mask up if they're out in public and cannot social distance. Governor Reeves says the state's healthcare system is being stretched and that Mississippians need to take the virus more seriously. Reeves says one way to help combat the spread could be issuing mask mandates on a county-by-county basis.
What I'm asking my fellow Mississippians to think about today is if I don't adhere to the guidelines and I contract the virus, well, maybe it won't be that bad on me. Well, and that may be true. But if you spread it to 2 or 3 people who take up 2 or 3 ICU beds, and then your daughter or your granddaughter is in an automobile accident or in a 4-wheeler accident, and they need to go to the hospital, and there are no ICU beds available, then you're putting those individuals at risk as well.
The governor did not specify when stricter guidelines could come, but added that nothing was off the table. Local school district leaders know there are many questions and a lot of anxiety among parents about the new school year. Superintendents from 3 North Mississippi school districts joined our Andrea Self on Zoom to talk about their plans, your choices as families, and what they are doing to make sure students and staff can return to school safely.
It's important to us that our employees stay safe and they're confident as they come to work. And so, you know, we always prioritize students. I'm sure Dr. Harvey and Passan can agree with me on that measure, but it's imperative that we make sure that our employees feel confident that we will reduce the exposure to disease while they're at work, and that they feel confident coming to work teaching children.
Joining Dr. Cherie Labatt from the Columbus Municipal School District will be Starkville-Octomahon Superintendent Dr. Eddie Passant and Brian Harvey from the Oxford School District. You can hear the full conversation Thursday at 9 a.m. right here on WCBI. The Washington Post reports more than 80 Confederate monuments have come down over the last 5 years. A third of those have been removed since George Floyd was killed in police custody on May 25th. Just this week, the Lowndes County Board of Supervisors approved moving the county's monument from the courthouse lawn. Now, Wcbi County is following suit. WCBI's Cash Matlock joins us live in the studio with more on this story. Cash?
Joey, the rhetoric surrounding Confederate statues can be divisive, but those I spoke with today say they hope that relocating the statue will bring people together.
We discussed the monument last month. We had our attorney to check out the legalities of it. So we found out everything was legal for us to go ahead and vote to relocate.
District 5 Supervisor Bruce Brooks says board members voted unanimously to relocate the Confederate monument that currently sits outside the Wcbi County Courthouse. The statue was erected in 1901 by the United Daughters of the Confederacy.
I believe this is going to help us unite our community and definitely unite Wcbi County.
The monument will be moved to Oddfellows Cemetery, where both Confederate and Union soldiers are buried.
We feel like it would be better represented where the soldiers are actually buried.
County leaders say the move could cost around $10,000, but they don't plan to use any public money.
We're going to definitely work with the Historical Society, also some local individuals who are flexible to actually encourage and raise the money to help move. We're going to do all of this without using any public funds.
Those we spoke with today say this is a step in the right direction.
And I don't think anyone should be able to or should have to look to their left or their right to see some type of oppression, some type of segregation. Everybody should be welcome to their county courthouse to handle their business since they're taxpayers of this county.
Of changing the flag and moving these monuments, I think it's going to really help the economic growth in Mississippi.
Supervisors say the statue will be moved sometime in the next 3 to 6 months.
Some showers and storms around the region today. A live view with our Alpha Insurance Camera Network here after 6 o'clock. Where are you, SkyCam Network? There we go. We have a mix of sun and clouds across the region right now. A lot of sunshine here in Tupelo, 86, pretty warm. Columbus and Tupelo, 78. Vernon at 82. So a lot of the rain we had is on the way out. There still are some showers and thunder showers back to the west of 55. So we can't rule out some of that rolling back on into parts of the region later on this evening. You can see some of that out in the Delta, but most of us probably won't see it. We should have a pretty decent evening here where we will just keep the chance going tonight. There could be a few isolated showers and storms going early in the morning tomorrow, but we'll bubble up more activity as the course of the day goes on. 89 to around 90 here on our Thursday. Your full 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
A Plantersville man is charged with 3 counts of sexual battery against a minor. 59-year-old Martin Randy Morgan was arrested after investigators with the Lee County Sheriff's Department and Child Protective Services investigated the allegations. Sheriff Jim Johnson says Morgan was the caregiver for the children. They are now in protective custody.
It's a serious matter. We take these matters very seriously whenever we're investigating them and make sure that we have the recommendation of counselors and doctors and the Child Protective Services whenever there's children involved, the district attorney's office and everything, and we don't just jump to some conclusion because there's been some allegation.
My client is Randy Morgan. He maintains his innocence in this matter. He's been arraigned on 3 counts of sexual battery. Mr. Morgan was married to a lady who's passed away. One of her children has made these allegations. He maintains that he is absolutely innocent.
Now, Morgan's bond was set at $300,000. He turned himself into law enforcement this afternoon. His attorney has requested a preliminary hearing on the charges. A West Point man is facing charges after the Lowndes County Narcotics Task Force conducted a drug buy last week. Agents arrested 27-year-old Charterius Moore last Wednesday after finding drugs and cash exchanged in alleged drug deals. Moore is charged with conspiracy to possess a controlled substance and conspiracy to traffic a controlled substance. During the bust, agents found more than 900 units of ecstasy, 1 pound of ice, 3 pounds of marijuana, and more than $33,000 in cash.
Where there's drugs, there's going to be money, and a lot of times guns and violence follows. So we're trying real hard to get the drugs off the street, and we're encouraging anyone that has information about any drug activity here in Lowndes County to call the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department or the Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers.
We have a job to do amidst the coronavirus and other things the community is facing. We still have a job to do, and that's take illegal narcotics off the street of Lowndes County.
The investigation into the case continues. More arrests are expected. The Monroe County Sheriff's Department has a new tool that will help deputies go the extra mile to keep their neighbors safe.
When ZACK WILBANKS was in the National Guard, he drove big trucks and vehicles. So when the Monroe County Sheriff's Department got a mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle known as an MRAP, he was the first one in the driver's seat. The MRAP can transport deputies and SWAT team members safely to situations such as a hostage standoff. It can be used to provide cover for officers if they need to rescue someone or render medical aid. It was used recently to safely rescue a hostage in another county. It can also drive through up to 6 feet of water during floods.
We've got a bad history in Monroe County with the Old River of rising floodwaters, especially, and it helps a lot in that. And it's mainly, you know, just we reduce the armor to make it more of a search and rescue vehicle, and that's our primary focus.
The vehicle was made for the U.S. Marines. It only had 83 miles on it when it came to Monroe County. In fact, some of the seats are still in plastic wrap. It is not a tank, and there are no weapons on the vehicle. So top speed on the MRAP is 50 miles an hour, but realistically, they're not going to need to go that fast using this vehicle.
It looks intimidating, right? I mean, and that's a psychological thing. I mean, a lot of people misunderstand when you talk about SWAT. SWAT is not about taking people's lives. It's about saving them with overwhelming power and artillery and manpower and just teamwork. And there's a psychological aspect to it that kind of makes the, you know, we want the bad guy to want to give up.
The MRAP cost $10,000, and it was paid for through private donations and grants. The sheriff knows some people have concerns about law officers using military equipment and resources. He says the MRAP can help keep the public and officers safe.
We need this for them. You know, we need this for their kids or grandkids or grandparents, or, you know, a situation that they might end up in. And, you know, I would hope to think when they saw us coming in it that they would be more glad than sad.
The MRAP will also be taken to local schools when they're back in session, so students can see the Sheriff Department's newest resource. In Monroe County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
A Starkville teenager raises a high-flying tribute to some area veterans. We have this story coming up. Welcome back, everyone. A new flagpole at Starkville Manor Nursing Home may help a Boy Scout rise through the ranks. Parker BAZZILL has been a part of the Boy Scouts since he was in first grade. Now he's working toward the organization's highest rank, Eagle Scout. He needed a community service project to reach that goal. The flagpole does more than fulfill that requirement. It also honors some special residents.
When my grandma was staying here, there were lots of veterans, so I figured that they might like a flagpole like this. I hope they realize that we're in the best country in the world and that Boy Scouts of America supports that.
BAZZILL belongs to Troop 27 in Starkville. The Mississippi Museum of Art has reopened, and with a big exhibition, MMA opened to the general public today. Van Gogh, Monet, Degas, and their times also open. The special exhibition will feature 74 masterworks. It will continue until January 10th, 2021. The Jackson Museum is requiring advanced timed ticketing, social distancing, and masks. Well, rinse, repeat, right?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it makes it easy on us. More showers and storms here, Vernon. Tomorrow, Joey, we start out in the 70s, upper 80s to around 90. Scattered storms likely here. Your full forecast is next. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
As we just mentioned, going to break, more of the same here as we get into our day tomorrow. There could be a little bit of rain and thunderstorm activity again in the morning, but as we get into the heating of the day and into the afternoon, a better opportunity for some of those showers and storms. Upper 80s to around 90, probably everywhere today. Some of you were suppressed because of the cloud cover, so not as warm widespread. But we think a better chance for some upper 80s to low 90s here again for our day. Thursday, with more scattered storms in the region. Any one of those storms could produce some heavy downpours, thunder, lightning. You know the drill. Look at that. Our time lapse from Columbus earlier today downtown. Some interesting clouds moving on through. A live view looking back to the west. It looks like we'll have a little bit of color here going into the evening. 80 degrees currently in Columbus. We are dry. Get out there and make the most of it here on our Wednesday night. Our Skycam network, Louisville, shows a mix of sun and clouds across the southern parts of the area. Same story here in Vernon at 82 degrees. And for you in Tupelo, a little bit warmer up here today. We topped out around 90 degrees. There we go. 90 degrees now, currently 86 degrees. It's looking great heading into the early evening. You can see our satellite radar picking up on a little bit of rain over here near Hamilton, Alabama. Also some showers and thunder showers back in the Delta. Some of that could continue as we go throughout the evening hours. Most of us probably won't see it. Bigger storms rumbling right there along the coast near Gulfport, Biloxi, and Mobile right now. So some isolated to scattered activity early this evening. We may see a little bit try to redevelop later on this evening and tonight, especially across the southwestern areas. Just looking at some model data, the southwestern area is probably the favored chance for some showers and storms tonight and tomorrow morning. Notice how we will likely see some rain and storms in the region tomorrow, and then perhaps a few more storms possible tomorrow night into our day Friday too. So something to watch out for here. Rain and storm chances will continue. Some of those downpours will be locally heavy, warm and humid in general, and the heat index pushing 100 to 105 plus. That's where it is out there in Shreveport, Dallas right now, and that's the kind of situation we will be in really as we get into our Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and probably a good chunk of early next week. Now, we talked about this yesterday. A northwest flow pattern for the weekend that could give rise to several storm complexes, and then that goes away next week. We start to warm things up. It gets pretty warm and just downright hot around here. We're going to go with the low to mid 90s, but the heat index well into the triple digits next week. But scattered storms here at least to the weekend, Joey, and then our rain chances going down just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Keith. The high school football tour continues on. We preview the Water Valley Blue Devils next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Next up on the high school football tour, we take a look at the Blue Devils in Water Valley. Head coach Brad Embry looks to retool rather than rebuild as the Devils have key players at key positions to replace this season. Water Valley is step number 17 on the high school football tour.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
It's back to the basics for the Blue Devils in Water Valley. Last season's senior-heavy team posted an 8-4 record and another postseason appearance. Now the Blue Devils only returned 6 seniors, but have high hopes for the young guys.
The good thing is when you have young guys, if they're athletic and they're hungry and they're excited, it's fun.
Trying to help them as best I can because last year was my first year starting, so I know how hard it was on me. So the best I can help the young guys, I think it's the best thing I can do, help them as good as I can.
Water Valley has its work cut out moving forward. With the core of the 2018 state championship team graduated, this year's squad looks to step in and make its own name.
You want to say you just reload, and that's what we're planning to do. You know, the guys look at it, it's their time to do their part.
They do a great job. We always come in, we work hard every day. And we always do things right, and that's one of the main things we focus on, doing it right.
That work ethic will be put to the test as the Blue Devils have to replace dual-threat quarterback Jacob Truss. Heading into the season, head coach Brad Embry is confident that a leader will step up among the group.
They've got to be a leader. You know, you can lead in different ways. Everyone's not a verbal leader, but they've got to learn that as well. You know that, so they've got to come in and learn fundamentals, learn the schemes, and learn to lead. And it's a lot on a young man. But I'm confident in the guys we have. You know, even though they're young, they're athletic. They have the tools to play quarterback. So just, you know, it's part of it. That's what you want to do. You know, each and every year you got to build your team from the ground up, and we're definitely coming from the ground up this year.
The team isn't using that inexperience as an excuse as players continue to put in extra work to be ready for the season.
You'll come in at any time during the middle of the day, at night, and there's a group of them met out here running stadiums, you know, doing whatever. So there's a work ethic, and you know, that's not us, that's not coaches, that's the kids, and that's the, you know, like you said, the foundation that's been set of work. And I'm proud of that.
Everybody's been working hard, even when we're not here. We come back almost every day. Guys are at the field running and working out, so we've worked hard this year. I think we'll be strong.
Reporting in Water Valley on the high school football tour, Chris Bolton, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Water Valley High School is brought to you by Turnage Drugstore.
The high school football continues on after today. Here's a look at some of those upcoming stops. Thursday, we check in with stop number 18 in Nettleton. Friday, we check in with stop number 19, East Union. Saturday, stop number 20 with the Boonville Blue Devils. Sunday, we check in with stop number 21, the Hatley Tigers. And then we head into Alabama week starting on Monday. Stop number 22 checks in with the South Lamar Stallions. Stop number 23, Lamar County on Tuesday. Stop number 24, the Pickens County Tornadoes on Wednesday. Gordo, stop number 25 in Aliceville. Stop number 26. That's it for sports. More for you when we come back.
More scattered showers and storms in the region here as we get into our day Thursday, probably through the weekend too. Maybe several storm complex here through the weekend, and then as we get into next week, we're back into the low to mid 90s. The heat index here 100 to 105 plus, Joey, going into next week. The dog days of summer.
They are here. People ask me what it's like to live in Mississippi, and sometimes I say it's like living in a crock pot.
Basically,
that's it,
yes.
Right? Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.